Hmm. It's been a journey. Second year head coach, in the second year of a rebuild, when, I went through this with Pokey Chapman as the head coach in Chicago, and I don't know if we're there yet. We're working really hard, to be what those top teams are and who those top teams are. I think it was just, these guys needed time. Like, they needed time together. They needed, those game moments together where they were making those reads, understanding, when AB and Kate were in a pick and roll, where's AB going to go? What's her next read? And then we just kind of broke down all those things, and showed these guys like where those open areas are with the attention that Caitlin, AB, Melissa. I think that's part of it, just the time together. But during that break, we spent a lot of time working on just some team chemistry stuff, just getting to know each other, not on the basketball court where the pressure was just on from day one. Just being able to spend that time together, get to know each other. You've seen it translate onto the court as well. I love listening to our players the other night talk about the joy, playing with joy. Like that, that's so good to hear as a coach that the players are feeling that.
Anybody else in the room?
Yeah, I think. How do you contain Enrique and Prophet?
Yeah,
That's something with contain.
Yeah, that's the contain is a good word. We're gonna just try to throw different things at them. I mean, these guys are averaging, like, in their last few games, like the points that they're putting up, it's incredible. They just have all the firepower. We're just gonna have to try to make them uncomfortable as much as we can, limit their touches, try to limit, Enrique's touches where, I mean, she's just, ice in the veins. She can just put the ball in the hole. Satu the same way. And then you got those bigs down there that just make it really hard. It's when they shoot it, you just got to make sure you're putting a body and moving them out the way. But, try to throw some different things at them.
There's one thing that I think you get, that the first game between you two, they won, but you actually dominated points in the paint and rebounding. And has your team progressed in that area even more so since back then?
Yeah, I think watching that last game, that was a tough one because we were really hoping to go into the break with that win, and so just had to think about that loss throughout the break. I think where we've gotten better is some of those in that game, we missed some wide open shots late in that fourth quarter when we had gotten back. And then also the firepower that these guys have, they can get and put up numbers really quick. And we've done a better job of stopping the bleeding and being able to stop those moments where teams were making those runs. So that's, I think that for me is where we've gotten a little bit better. Didn't show in the last couple of games where we didn't start off so great, but got to figure that one out.
The pace with what your team plays with is phenomenal. And, like you just mentioned, stopping runs, to me, that's taking advantage of less turnovers and turning it into offensive possessions.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a team, the only other person I've seen, and you can correct me, push the ball over the top all the time is Alicia Gray. Because when Caitlin gets it, I mean, I don't know if they had this discussion at lunch. Hey, just run.
Yeah.
Jog, sprint. You're going to get layups.
Yeah.
So that to me was the turnovers are better, and I think that speaks to what you said about chemistry and understanding spacing. And the other thing is Mitchell. I mean, it's unbelievable what she's doing.
Yeah, Kelsey Mitchell is she's special. She's unique. She's one of the fastest players on the court all the time. You get her in any type of actions where it's her speed that's going to get her open. You can scheme for it. She's going to be able to get a touch just because of how quick she is. And then her ability to get downhill. I mean, when she catches and if you're there, you need to be moving in that direction to have a chance to keep up with her. I mean, she's shooting the ball so well right now. Caitlin and AB are drawing some attention in some of those pick and rolls, and the help side's having to come over, and it's just leaving her wide open for some great shots, and she's knocking them down, her and Lexi Hull as well.
Coach, is there comfort in knowing that a lot of this damage that your team is doing right now is on the road as you kind of look towards the playoff and possibly seeding and you might be on the road a lot, is there comfort in knowing that a lot of this success right now is coming on the road?
Yeah, anytime in this league's incredible. I mean, it's the toughest league in the world. And when you go on the road and win, it doesn't matter who you play. You need to take, that is a great win. You always say you want to take care of those home games and when you can grab one on the road. So for us to pick up the game in Chicago the other night was huge. They're on a mission as well. But we spent so much time on the road early when we weren't getting those wins, and we learned a lot from that as well. So looking forward to this home stretch we got coming up.
So you talked about the break, how impactful the break was for your team, and you look at teams that have multiple Olympians on the team, and how they kind of struggle coming back. You talked a little bit more in depth about the impact of the break and how y'all team benefited from that.
Yeah. First, I think just the rest that we got. I think, Caitlin had been playing right off of her college season. There was some, going through a season, you're going to pick up a little, some bumps and some bruises, a few little injuries that when you have that time to be able to completely heal and finish out the second half of the season, that was for me the best part. And then the chemistry piece, just the time spent, the practices, we were able to break down things. When you start in training camp at the beginning of the season, you don't have a lot of time. I mean, we came here after 8-9 days of practice. So to play that first preseason game. So just to have some time together to work on things, to break things down, it's been huge for our young group, especially.
Just how have you seen Lexi progress just from the beginning of the season, and how has she impressed you in these last 2 games she started?
Yeah, she's shooting the hell out of the ball. That's number one. But she's on the defensive end. She's so aggressive and she wants to make a play. And she's really learned to just stay really disciplined with her defense and just take over whoever that person is that she's been put in charge of to defend. She's just doing a great job with that, but she's also giving us several more possessions a game by just getting in there. And she might not get the offensive rebound all the time, but she's going to get in there and tip it to somebody. She's just so active, but she's doing what she does well. She's ready to shoot, whether that's in the corner or in the slot. She's just got her feet and her hands ready to knock it down.
Got one more.
That's great. It is. My son always says to me, check on people who are strong. I view you as somebody who's really strong and have admired you for everything you've done for this game here, Europe. How are you doing with this extraordinary generational situation? And I say this because, when Pat Riley came to the Lakers in '80 and he had Magic Johnson, and he and I talked about this at length. And I look at you, here you are still a young coach,
Yeah.
and you have the Caitlin effect. People can say it's not there, but then, they don't have a pulse. It's real, it's generational with your team, and she's doing collectively. How are you doing with it?
It's been a journey. Second year head coach. In the second year of a rebuild, when, I went through this with Pokey Chapman as the head coach in Chicago, and we had a couple years, it took us 3 years to get to the playoffs. In that fifth year, we were in the semis and the finals. The world that we live in today wants results now. They want you to be good now. And that was the hardest piece, was just trying to keep our players just stay with the process. Like, stay with what we know is going to be a great product later. It's going to be hard early. So the challenge was just keeping it from going sideways. And, the thing I keep saying is I have great people in that locker room. We have great players in that locker room that showed up every day. I would ask people, I would call people, I'd be like, but no one has an answer really, because this scouting report is just way different than anything that's ever been done before with what's going on in the world, in women's basketball and sports. I wouldn't even call it women's basketball. So just stayed the course and just tried to keep the outside noise on the outside and not let that get into me or to our group. And that's just kind of how we processed it and moved forward. And asked me today, just to see the results now, it is, answered prayers, because there was a lot of praying that was being done.
The last one on Zoom, Matt.
Yeah, hi Christy. Last time you were at Dallas, you guys led late and then it got away. And then 2 times ago at Chicago, you led late and it got away and you redeemed that on Friday. So just curious if after all these, weeks and months after the break, do you remind your team of, the specific moments of, the last time at Dallas, to, redeem it again, I guess, or have you kind of flushed that as a team?
Yeah, after going back and watching the Dallas game, like in prep for this game tonight, like we're a totally different team. Like we're just a different team on the defensive end of the floor. But yeah, I mean, but that's been something that has plagued us and we've got to get better at it. I think just our resolve and us being able to be down, 21, whatever it was, 6 against Chicago, and then be able to come back after that timeout and just lock in. Like we just got to figure out how to do that sooner from the beginning. And that will, help out in those moments that you're talking about.
All right. Thank you, everybody.